Now that you've removed the screws, go ahead and remove the bracket that you had at the front holding down the LED board. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the hard drive from the system. The hard drive is located on the side behind the door right here. Use your small flathead to pry open the door. You're going to see 3 screws on the side. Go ahead and unscrew the blue one. Be very careful as this screw is easily stripped. After the blue screw has been removed, go ahead and lift the handle and pull to the right. Lift the hard drive up and place it to the side. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the bottom of the case. To do this, go ahead and place your hand on the top of the motherboard and flip the whole thing over. Grab right by the front left and lift up. Place the bottom of the case to the side and go ahead and put the board down. Now go ahead and remove the battery located at the front right. Certain PS3s have different types of batteries. There is one where you actually have to pull the battery completely off the board. You'll know this as it'll be just the battery and not a green cover. Next, we're going to remove the fan cord from the motherboard itself. Go ahead and lift the fan cord up, pulling it off the motherboard. Next, remove the 2 screws located by the hard drive. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the back of the case that is housing the power outlet. Go ahead and start by unclipping the 3 clips. Now while those are open, go ahead and flip it over. And you'll have 2 clips, one here, and then one down here. As soon as those are all unclipped, pop right off. Go ahead and place that to the side. Next, go ahead and remove the 4 screws holding the heat sinks on. That'd be these 4 screws here, 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 and here. Now go ahead and pull up the metal housing for the motherboard. Start by pulling up from the front, slowly lifting towards the back. Push forward and you'll see the hinges on the back you can pull them out from. Go ahead and pick the PS3 up and lay it on its side. You'll see that the metal is actually encasing the Ethernet port, the optical port, the HDMI port, and the AV port. Go ahead and bend the metal up over it very carefully. Now that that's out of the way, you can pull the motherboard away from the fan and that'll give you access to the board itself. Go ahead and place this to the side. You'll notice that the chips are covered in an Arctic compound quite like the one we're going to use. Go ahead and grab your alcohol and use a Q-tip to dab it on top of the chips. To speed up cleaning once you've put the alcohol down, go ahead and grab a paper towel and start to wipe the compound off. The chips don't have to be perfect, just make sure you get most of the compound off of them. Now that the chips are clean, we're going to go ahead and take the motherboard and put it in the oven. In order to reflow the PS3 motherboard, we're going to be using a toaster oven. A conventional oven also works fine, you'll just have to preheat that conventional oven first. To keep the PS3 motherboard suspended in the air away from the grates, we're going to go ahead and place ratchet heads down in order to keep the board from touching. Take the PS3 board and place it in the oven. Make sure that the board itself is not touching the sides or the grate. Go ahead and close the oven. Go ahead and set the oven temperature to 350. If your PS3 board did not have an LED board, and the LEDs are located directly on the motherboard, set the temperature to 320 instead. Now this board does not have an LED, it does have an LED board, so we're going to put it at 350. If you're using a conventional oven, preheat it to 350 first with the ratchet heads in the oven, and then place the board in there. We're going to bake the board for 10 minutes. While we're waiting for the oven to bake the board, we're going to go ahead and clean the tops of the heat sinks right here. Now these are located where the chips are, and a lot of the time you'll see a lot of compound left on here. So go ahead and clean these much like you did the chips. Again, using a paper towel will help speed up the process. You don't have to be as delicate with these as it is just metal. Get these metal pads as clean as possible, and then we'll go check on the PS3 board. When the oven finishes, go ahead and open it carefully so you don't burn yourself. Take your two pliers and grab the motherboard on either end, lifting up evenly. Place it down to cool. Allow the motherboard at least 15 minutes to cool. It's very hot, so make sure you stay with. After giving the PS3 board enough time to cool, like I said before, about 15 minutes, you're ready to apply the thermal paste that we talked about earlier, the Arctic Silver. What you want to do is put a nice bead right on the edge of the chip, all the way down. Not too much, as you do not want to suffocate the chip when it is enclosed with the heat sinks. Do this for both chips. Once you've applied the bead, take the card from before, either a credit or business card, and lightly spread the bead across PS3 chips. Spread until it's completely covered, even if it appears that it is not enough.